Hi, my true crime besties. I'm Tasha. I sit down with you guys and talk about true crime that have literally WTF'd me, like this one, for sure. Um, this one takes place in Minnesota, and it's a 29-year-old Julissa Thaler. Okay, and about her beautiful little boy Eli Hart, who was 6 years old. So Eli was removed from her care in January of 21 after a series of mental health breakdowns, um, substance use, and violence. And I get it. She seemed like an ordinary young woman, just with a lot of mental health issues, which is common, right? My issue, though, with a lot of these cases is the state. So he was removed from her care in January of 21, and reading this case really upset me because despite all the red flags that she had in this case, he was removed from her for 11 months with the foster family. The father, I don't know too much. He obviously reported Tori Hart. He filed complaints about her drug use and mental health issues too, but I don't know why he didn't have the son. But little Eli stayed with foster parents, so it was said that she stalked the foster parents. She was committing crimes while trying to fight for him. I will say she did fight for him, so that great. You lose your child, try and fight for him, and she did, which, I wish it would have went differently, but she fought for him. But she lied to caseworkers. She was committing crimes. She was failing drug tests, and stalking the family, despite all of those red flags. And the police, being called out to her home at least 21 times. Despite all of that, little Eli was returned back to her. She was given full custody. So her car, shattered back window, and the front driver's side tire was completely off, missing. Okay, so concerned citizens called the police, and when police arrived, they're talking to her, figuring out what's going on and what happened to the car, and just unspeakable violence that sent shockwaves through the whole community, you guys. And I'm not gonna go into such detail about what happened and that. I mean, you guys are more than welcome to look it up and read it, but it made me sick, honestly, and truly sad. And so I just wanted to speak for little Eli, but I also didn't want to go into much details. But anyways, concerned citizens called about the car, and when they opened the trunk, they found Eli's lifeless body. Like I said, so 10 days prior to the police coming out and finding Eli in that trunk, the case was closed. The state had closed the case against her and gave her full custody back of Eli. So the little boy was not in her custody for more than a week. A little over a week. And little 6-year-old Eli Hart is found. So after 10 days of given full custody, she shot 9 times. The little boy was shot 9 times. So that's just like my issue with the state. Like, I don't get why she, like, it was said that she lied to caseworkers, which I'm sure people do, whatever, but she was turning in like fake documents as well. So how, like, they didn't catch them, I guess the documents she made look legit or something. But wasn't passing drug tests, her mental health issues. Even the trial home visit, like, didn't go well. Like, the mental health issues, like, the misuse of drugs, like, everything like that. So the trial home visit didn't even go well. And then she's stalking the family, the foster parents. She's committing crimes while working with the state, despite all of those red flags. Like, I don't understand why the state gave him back to her. I really don't. Because if they hadn't, I mean, that little 6-year-old boy would be alive. But the evidence against her was overwhelming. There was eyewitness testimony, and her in the courtroom, she showed zero remorse. Zero remorse for that little boy. And on May 2022, at sentencing, the judge asked if she would like to address the court. That would be her time to say something. And this is what she chose to say. And I quote, I'm innocent. Fuck you all. You're garbage. End quote. So despite all the overwhelming evidence, despite eyewitness testimony, I mean, you're convicted for a reason, right? So she was sentenced to life without the possibility of parole, which, thank goodness, I think she deserves it. I really do. And again, I don't get it. I don't get how she was able to get away with doing all this stuff and was still given custody back of that little boy. And the more cases that I do read about and things like that, you find that to be like a common thing, that the state literally either ignores the dangers, ignores the red flags, don't fully do their job. Now, I'm not coming after state workers. Like, I support them. I feel like it's not an easy job, and it must be really hard. Like, that I totally understand. But where, like, she's not passing drug tests, she's lying to you guys, she's committing crimes, she's stalking the foster parents, the cops being at her home 21 times, like, that, why was he returned? Like, I want to know that. Like, how? Again, I have respect for the state workers. I'm not saying I don't, but I just feel like a lot of these cases, I don't understand where, like, the state gives some parents their rights back. And then I sit down and read and talk about these cases that, these poor kids went through, and I feel so bad. But again, I didn't want to go into too many details. Like, it was just this one was like a really sad, heartbreaking story to even read about, and just watching her in court, and it upset me. But I wanted to just speak for the little boy and get his story out. So at least she's sentenced to life. She's not be able to see the light of day again, so that's great. But I feel for the little boy. Anyways, that's that case. I hope everybody stay safe, be kind to everybody, okay? And until next time, with the case that literally WTFs me, I will be back with more.